Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining. Sunil here. Can you hear me? Please give your confirmations in the chat box. If yes, please type yes in the chat box. Can you hear me? Thank you for joining the session. Welcome to second session on Python. Yesterday was the introduction session. Thank you very much. Let us stop the chat. So in the last session, we have learned about Python. We have learned about the features of Python, what is the use of programming language, who is called as father of Python. I hope you remember. So what is our plan for today? First, let's learn our agenda for today's session. I will introduce you Edit Plus Editor. What is Edit Plus Editor? I'll explain you. How to write comments in Python. Python identifiers. What are called as identifiers? So these are some rules which you need to follow when you're defining an identifier. I'll list out the keywords in Python. How can we declare variables? Very important. How can we declare variables? And we learn about what is a function and how can we use the function. So this is our plan for second session. As usual, before moving on, let's have interaction. Any questions? If you want to have a discussion, please raise your hand. Yes. Thank you. Good morning, Aarti. How are you doing? You are now allowed to unmute. You are now allowed to unmute and talk.
Sir, good morning.
Good morning, Aarti. How are you doing?
Yes, sir, I'm fine.
Yes, what's your question? We cannot hear you. Please repeat. What is your question?
Sir, I am from Maharashtra and I'm basically biology background.
Biology background. Okay.
So I start this session to
You want to get
join.
into software side, right? You want to get into software industry.
Yes.
Okay. What is your qualification? Is it BSc?
Sir, biology, chemistry mein.
Okay. So anybody can get into IT industry, Aarti. That's not a problem. People from mechanical background, people from electrical background. Okay. Okay. So they also prove their skills and then get into the industry. Okay. So I have already mentioned this. You have to complete three courses. One is the basics of Python, which you already have started. The second course is UI technologies. The third course is Django framework. So when you complete these three courses, you are called as full stack Python developer and you can try for Python jobs. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yes. Good morning. Your name? Is it Vic? Hello. Yes, Vic. What's your question? Okay. Now, I have some questions on the concepts what we have discussed in the previous session. Please answer in the chat box if possible. I have some questions on the topics what we have discussed in the previous session. Okay. So a Python file is saved with extension. What is a file extension of a Python file? In our previous yesterday's session, we have created our first Python program. Perfect. Python file extension is .py. What does IDLE stands for? What does IDLE stands for? Any guess? Do you remember what is Python IDLE stands for? I stands for integrated, correct? Development. LE, learning. environment. Perfect. Integrated development learning environment. Okay. Okay. What does REPL tool stands for? R stands for, E stands for, P stands for, L stands for. Can you write it in the chat box? What does REPL stands for? REPL, REPL tool. R stands for read, E stands for evaluate, P stands for print, and L stands for loop. Perfect. Who is the father of Python? Do you remember? Yes. Do you know who is the father of Python? Do you know who is the father of Python? Okay, the father of Python is Ludo van Rossum. Super. Okay. So we have learned programming language is used for building applications, and Python is the most frequently used programming language. Okay, we already have learned. Let us stop the chat. We already have learned how to write the first Python program and how to run the program. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on. I want to go to the location where I have saved my Python file. I remember my Python program. I saved it in E drive. I have created a new folder with the name, I think in D drive. I have created a new folder with the name 11am. In this 11am folder, I have created a new file with the name abcd.py. I won't write the same program one more time. I won't write the same program one more time. How to write a Python program? Participants, how to write a Python program to print some hello world or whatever it is. I want to write a Python program. So if you want to write a Python program, I am using an editor called Notepad. Open Notepad and how to write a program to print some hello world in the output. So you have a line called print. Whatever you want to print, you have to enclose it in single quotes. You have to mention hello world, isn't it? So this is your Python print line, which helps you to print some output. And how to save this Python file? Gopinath, how to save this Python file? You have to save the Python file with extension .py. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Are you there in the yesterday session, Saina?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I am saving my Python file in D drive 11am folder. What should be the file extension type? Please change to
All
all
files.
files, and file name can be anything, right?
Yes.
File name can be anything. Can I write Saina?
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Or can I write Sai with extension dot?
.py.
So file name can be anything. It can be any name. It can be Sai.py or something like xyz.py. File name can be anything. Now I have created my first Python program. Where is your first Python program? The first Python programming is there in this location, D drive 11am. The file name is xyz.py. Sai, how can I run this program? Can you guess?
By opening command prompt in the.
Open the command prompt. Once the command prompt is ready,
Yeah, open the type the Python.
you have to go to the location where the file is available.
Yeah.
Right now, the file is available in D drive 11am. So go to
D drive.
Go to D drive, CD 11am. And here you have to run the program, isn't it? How to write the program? How to run the program? Sign up. Python.
Type the name.
The file. xyz.py. Are you getting the same hello world output? So this is what we have learned in our previous session. We have learned how to write a Python program and how to run the program and how to get the output. Yes, your question, Gopinath.
Yes, sir. Actually, I am non-IT.
No problem.
Yes, sir. I know some Python basics. I am unable to.
You already know Python basics.
Yes, sir. I am a fellow at CCTV 4.0 next wave, sir. I am learning full stack.
Please talk slowly. Please repeat.
Okay, I am learning full stack, sir, now.
Very good.
I am
Python
a
full stack.
Marine full stack development, sir.
Full stack development.
Yes, sir. It's a program by Nextwave.
Very good.
Actually, I am unable to build the programs like pyramids, structures.
Okay.
The mistake I am doing is I don't know.
Okay.
So
but that's not the context. Do you have any doubts in the previous class? You are talking about the doubts of your full stack development course, isn't it, sir? Okay. You have any doubts on the concept what we have learned?
Those concepts are covered in this syllabus.
No, this is a basic Python course, Gopinath.
Okay.
This is not a full stack Python. Okay. This is a basic Python. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
I can see your hand raised. You are now allowed to unmute and talk. Okay. If you have no question, please drop your hand. Perfect. So we have written our first program and we have executed my first program also. We got the output. I have one question to you. How did I write the program? How did I write the program? I have written the program using Notepad. First, I open the Notepad, and in the Notepad, I'm writing some Python code, isn't it? And I'm saving the Python file with extension .py. So, which editor I have used? I have used Notepad. Notepad is also editor. I have used Notepad for writing the Python program. In the real time, Notepad is not used. Let's go for a more better editor where you can easily understand the Python code and easily identify what are the keywords using the colors. So instead of Notepad, we will be using another editor called Edit Plus. I'll be using another editor called Edit Plus. From now, we will not, you can write the programs, no problem. You can write the programs using Notepad, but let's learn how can we write the program. In the real time, as you know, Notepad is not used. I wanted to use you one more editor which is similar to Notepad, that is which is having better features than Notepad, that is called as Edit Plus. Edit Plus is commonly used for writing Python code, participants. So let us not use Notepad. Notepad is a very basic editor. So let us use, because in the real time, Notepad is not used. So let us use another editor, more advanced editor than Notepad, is called as Edit Plus. Okay. So what I have to do, I have to install Edit Plus in my personal laptop. The website, if you have to download the Edit Plus software, is editplus.com. Go to browser and go for editplus.com. So this is the site for Edit Plus. And here in the Edit Plus, what you have to do, you have to go for downloads and don't download the latest version. Go for previous version and then download Edit Plus version 4. Because I have the license key for Edit Plus version 4, so I can provide you the license key. I don't have license key for the latest version. So let us download little bit previous version than latest version. So in the editplus.com website, you can see this is the editplus.com website. So go to downloads option. I hope you can notice there is an option called download here. So go to downloads option. Inside the downloads option, I want to download Edit Plus. Don't download the latest version. This is the latest version. Go to previous version because I have the license key for previous version. I can share that license key. Download Edit Plus 4 for my 64-bit. My laptop is 64-bit operating system. How to know which bit operating system is your Windows? Go to this PC. Sorry. Go to properties. Can you see? You can see my operating system, which is installed, is 64-bit operating system. So if your operating system is also Windows 64-bit, download 64-bit. Otherwise, download the previous one. So I'm downloading Edit Plus 64-bit. Where I want to download in my downloads folder. Participants, done. I'm done with downloading the Edit Plus software. It's an exe file. This is the Edit Plus. EPP stands for Edit Plus. Okay, so this is the exe file. Once an exe file is downloaded, what's the next thing you have to do? Participants, we have to run the exe file. So I will be running the exe file. This is Edit Plus version 4.3. Click on accept the terms and conditions. Do you want to install? Yes. Just click on start copy. Congratulations, the setup has been completed successfully. We are done. Participants, I'm done installing Edit Plus. Now tell me, is it very difficult to install Edit Plus? It is not at all difficult to install Edit Plus. As now Edit Plus is installed on your personal laptop, you can see the Edit Plus in your desktop, or you can just go to search option here and write with Edit Plus. You can see the Edit Plus icon here. So this is something similar to Notepad only with better features. So I'm opening Edit Plus editor and I want to accept the agreement. Just click on OK. Just click on yes. That's it. It is asking for username and password. You can start trial version. Okay. It provides you 30 days trial version. Okay, but I have the username and password. I'll be sharing these details to you also. You can also activate that in this. Give me a minute. I'll be providing the license key. Edit plus license. Don't worry, I'll be sharing the license key to you also. I have the license key with me. This is the details. You have to enter the username and you have to enter the key. Let me open Edit plus again. Enter registration code. Username should be this one. Registration code. Done. So the Edit plus tool editor has been activated. So whenever I want to write a new Python file from now, whenever I want to write a new Python file, so what did I do? Or look at this, I don't open Notepad. I will not open Notepad. I will be opening Edit plus. This is how the Edit plus looks like. So what we are planning to do, we are planning to create a new Python file. So I go to file, click on new, and here I get an option. Should I create, if I want to create HTML file or I want to write a C++ program or a Java program? No, I don't want to write a Java program. Click on option others. And here I'll be selecting Python because I want to write my Python program. So I'm selecting the Python option, and whatever I want to write the code, I'll write it, print something like good morning. Single quotes close. This is the print statement, and click on file, save as. Where I want to save my Python file? I want to save it in E drive, the same folder. I have created a folder with the name 11 AM. Not in E drive. D drive, I have created a folder with the name 11 AM. File name can be anything, something like abc.py. I have saved it. Where did I save my program? Yes, I have saved my program in D drive 11 AM. You can see here abc.py, which I have created today. So this is the file which I have created. So Edit plus is used to create the Python file, something similar to Notepad, but it's more powerful because it is easy to read and it identifies by using colors. I'll explain more about the advantages of Edit plus. How to run the program? The way we run the program is nothing special, the same as usual. You have to write Python, followed by the file name. This time is abc.py. Clear? So participants, so please share an email to support@logiclabstech.com. Share an email to support@logiclabstech.com. I'll be sharing you the Edit plus key and password. You can use that particular key and use Edit plus. Please use editor. Don't use Notepad. Please use latest software so that you feel comfortable once you get into the job. Okay, perfect. So this is about Edit plus. Next. Okay. Let's move on to the next concept called identifiers. What are called identifiers? Very simple. A name in a Python program is called as identifier. Name is called as identifier. It can be variable name. It can be a class name. I have not introduced class. I have not introduced method. I have not introduced name. Any name is called as an identifier. So when you're writing Python programs, participants, when you're writing Python programs, we will be creating some variables. I'll show you, don't worry how to create a variable. Just listen to this concept. You will be creating some variables, we'll be creating some methods, where you can be creating some classes. These variable names, class names and method names are called as identifiers. You have to follow some rules. You have to follow some rules when you're defining an identifier. For example, a equal to 10. This is how to declare a variable. Participants, this is how to declare a variable. A equal to 10 is the statement which is used to declare a variable. Saujanya, can we have a talk?
Hi, Sunil. I have a question here. So instead
Before
of
you
using
asking
the,
me a question, can I ask one question to you?
yeah, go ahead,
Okay,
please.
so you know programming language, or is it the first programming language you are learning?
This is the first programming language I was learning.
You have any software experience?
Yeah, like testing experience I have.
Okay. So can you
So
understand
I
what
have-
this line A equal to 10 do?
Yeah, it's showing that we are
Which is the
giving
variable
value
name?
A.
Variable name is A. You are right. Variable name is A. And what value we are storing in that particular variable?
I guess 10.
You are right. A equal to 10. This line helps you to understand that we are creating a variable A, and what value we are storing? We are storing a value 10. This A is called variable. Okay. This A is called variable name, or it also called as identifier. So when you want to create some variables, you have to follow some rules. What are the rules to be followed? Variable name can use lowercase letters. Variable names you can use uppercase letters. Variable names can also have numbers. Variable names can have underscore. These are the allowed rules for identifiers. Okay. What is not allowed? It should not start with digit. That means you cannot create a variable starting with digit. Okay. And next important point, participants, variable names are case sensitive. Variable names are case sensitive. For example, A equal to 10. And I'm writing one more line, A equal to 10. So small a is a different variable, capital A is a different variable. It is case sensitive. So the very important point you need to keep in mind, let's say I'm creating a variable total and initializing a value with 100. This is one more variable total, and this is total. These are case sensitive. All these three variables are not one variable. There are three different variables, because in the first variable, everything is in small case. Second variable, only one letter is in uppercase. Third variable, all the letters are in capital case. So it is very case sensitive. So these are the points you need to keep in mind when you're creating variables. Okay, clear, Saujanya?
Yes.
Now your question.
Okay, sorry about that. So instead of using the edit class, can I use the PyCharm?
You can use it. Okay.
Thank you.
PyCharm
Thank you
is
so
more
much.
preferred also. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Any questions, participants? Am I clear how to install Edit Plus? So please use Edit Plus. Please use Edit Plus. Do not use Notepad. I have shown you how to download Edit Plus. I'll be providing you the key, license key, like how I have activated. Please activate and use Edit Plus for lifetime. Okay, perfect. Now, we have learned about variables. Okay, next. Who wants to talk to me with respect to a next example? Very simple. Who wants to have a discussion with me with respect to my next example on discussing about keywords or reserved words? Please raise your hand. If anybody wants to talk to me, interact with me with respect to my explanation with respect to my next example, please raise your hand. Very good. Perfect. Good morning, Tirupati. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Sunil. How about you?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Clear about whatever we have learned till now?
Yes.
Perfect. I have one question to you, Tirupati.
Yeah, sure.
Can I open? Can I open ideally integrated development learning environment?
Yes, yes.
How to do it? Tell me.
From the start,
Go to start.
where we have Python.
First, you have to open the command prompt.
Yeah.
First, you have to open the
Command prompt, and
command
then
prompt. In the
type
command prompt, you have to use
Python.
Python. This is the learning environment. Three
Yes.
angular symbols helps you to identify that this is the learning environment. Okay. Now
Yeah.
in this integrated development learning environment, okay.
Yeah.
Can you explain this line?
A is a variable equal to we assign 10 value.
Yeah, we are storing 10 into the variable name. Agree or not? Hmm?
Yes. I mean,
Can I do like this? Is it valid?
yes, it's valid.
Is it valid?
No, it's not valid.
What is the variable name I'm using here?
If I think it's
If.
reserved word, yeah, keyword.
Correct. It is a reserved word. Reserved words are nothing but keywords.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we use reserved words for our programming purpose? No, we should
No.
not use it, Tirupati. Very simple. For example, when you go to a restaurant, you will find a table reserved. That means we should not use that particular table. Am I right? We can use other tables. Am I right, Tirupati?
Correct.
Similarly, when you are creating some variables, you can create variables your own comfortable names. You can use it, but some where words are reserved, you cannot create a variable with the name if. You cannot create a variable with the name loop. These are some reserved words. Now, Tirupati, I am now showing if you use reserved words, what is the response you're getting? You're getting an error. Agree?
Yes.
Agree?
Syntax
So,
error.
few reserved words, we should not use it. Now I am showing you reserved words, we should not use it. Now I am showing you list of reserved words. How many reserved words we are having in Python? You can see here, Tirupati, total we have 33 words. We
Correct.
cannot create a variable with the value with the name true, false, none, and, or, not, if. We have used if, we got an error. Else, elif, while, for, break, continue, return, in, yield, try, except, finally, raise, accept, import from, as, class, define, pass, global, non-local, lambda, tell, with. These are 33 reserved words. That's all. Only 33 reserved words we have in Python. If you want to create some variables, you can have your own name. You can write Tirupati equal to 10. You can write my name, your name, but you cannot use these reserved words. Got it? Perfect,
Yes.
Tirupati?
Yeah.
One important observation. All the reserved words are in lowercase, small letters. But only these first three reserved words are title case. Title case is nothing but when you're writing true, T should be in uppercase. When you're writing false, F should be in uppercase. When you're writing none, N should be in uppercase. Remaining all the reserved words out of all the 33 words, 30 are completely lowercase. These three words are title case. These are called as title. Clear, Rohit?
Yeah, clear.
Sorry, clear, Tirupati. Perfect. So these are reserved words. The point is, Tirupati, we should not use reserved words when you're writing variables, when you're creating some variables. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We already have observed only true, false, none. The first three reserved words are in uppercase. Rohit, good morning. How are you doing?
Hi sir, are you hear me? Can you hear?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you doing, Rohit?
Yeah, I'm doing good, sir.
Very good. So, are you able to understand?
Yeah, I'm able to understand.
Look at this program. Can you explain what I'm doing in A equal to 10?
Yeah, A is a variable name and 10 is a value stored in variable.
Variable. Perfect. So we are storing 20 in variable B. Agree?
Yeah, yes, sir.
What is line number 3? Can you explain?
Print A plus B.
Can you explain? What is the output?
It might be 30.
Hmm?
Yes. Output might be 30, I guess.
Perfect. Okay. Okay, Rohit, thank you. Please observe the output as expected, Rohit. Is expected, the output is 30. This is a very simple program. Tirupati, can you explain these 3 lines of program? What are we doing in these 3 lines of program? Can you explain?
Yeah, sure. A equal 10 and B equal 20. We add just we print out that 30 value. Addition of
Correct.
2 numbers. A and B.
Correct. Very simple. Okay. Now, these 3 lines of program, can we write it in a Python file? I'm writing it these 3 lines of program in ideally, right? Tirupati, this same 3 lines of program, can I write it in a separate file and save it with extension.py and can I run that particular program?
Yes,
Tirupati,
yes. We
is
can
it
run.
possible? Okay. So can you guide me? How can we do it? First, I have to open the editor called
Correct.
Edit Plus.
Edit plus.
Okay, so first next file, I want to create a new, which file? I don't want to create a Java file, I don't want to
Python.
create a C++ file. Go to others option. In the others option, you have to select Python and click on.
Okay.
Okay, so an empty file gets open. Now I'll be writing 3 lines of program. A equal to
10.
10,
B
B
equal
equal to 20, and the print
to
of A
parentheses.
plus.
Yeah.
Perfect. And how to write, save this program? Go to file, save as, where I want to save the program. In any location, I'm saving it in D drive 11 AM. File name can be anything, isn't it, Tirupati? Okay,
Yes.
I'll name it as my name, Sunil, with extension dot py.
Right.
Perfect. I have saved the program. Can we see the program where it is saved? Yes, you can see it. It is saved in sunil.py. How to run the program? For running the program, edit plus is not used. You have to come to command prompt.
Yeah.
Go to the location where the file is available. The file is available in D drive 11 AM.
Python file name.
Python file name. What's the name of the file? Sunil.py. Sunil.py. Are you getting the sum of outputs as sum of 3 numbers, 2 numbers is 30? This is how we have to write the programs. Okay. So the right way is to write the programs and run the programs to get the output. So what did we learn in this program? What are the new things we have learned in this program? The new thing what we have learned in this program, my dear participants, is how to create a variable. How to create a variable, name of the variable A. And if you want to store some value, you have to use equal to operator. 10 is the value. So 10 value will be stored in variable A. 20 value will be stored in variable B. Now, if I write A plus B, obviously the values will be, arithmetic calculation happens and you get the output as 30. Simple. So this is the new thing what we have learned in today's session. The new thing what we have learned in today's session is how to declare variables. The new thing what we have learned in today's session is how to declare variables. Very important observation. We do not require to mention the data type of variable. We do not require to mention the data type of variable. If you want to create a variable, just write A equal to 10, that's it. Don't worry, where is A can store numbers, A can store characters, A can store, do you think A can store strings? Don't worry about that. Whatever the value you want, you can store it. You just write variable A equal to 10. If you compare with other programming languages like Java or C++, generally we write the data type also. Generally in other programming language, we write integer A equal to 10. I just want to compare it with other programming languages like C++. First, when you're declaring a variable, you have to mention the data type of the variable. Whereas in Python, Python is implicitly declared. You don't need to declare the variables data type. You don't need to mention the data type. Okay, so just mention the variable name and the corresponding value. That's all. This is how to create a variable and how to use a variable. Any questions? Basics are very, very important. That's the reason I'm spending more time discussing about basics. Any doubts in creating variables and using the variables? Perfect. Perfect. Kayum,
Yeah, good morning, sir.
good morning.
Yeah, can we run this program in another file? We have two, right? One is CMD and another, I forgot the term.
Please repeat your question. Can we run the program in?
Another format. One is we are using CMD command, right?
One
And
is we are
another-
using CMD. CMD stands for command prompt. Second one, what we are using?
Another DLCA is something you just use.
Ideally,
Ideally, yeah.
yes. It's a learning environment. We have executed the program in the learning environment. And this is not in the learning environment. We are just writing 3 lines of code. It's not a program. Qayyum, this is not a
Yeah,
program. A program is nothing but a file with extension .py.
What if I type Python xyz.py? If
Where
I
do
run
you
that
want to write
program
it?
here,
Where in the learning environment.
Yeah. yeah,
Okay. Python. What is the file name? My file name is sunil.py.
sunil.py, yeah.
Sunil.py or xyz.py. Let's try. Okay. For example, sunil.py. Is it working? Is it working, Qayyum? It is not working.
No,
For running the Python programs, we have to use command prompt only. For writing, for directly testing the code or checking whether the code is correct or not, you can write the code in the learning environment. But for writing the Python files, you have to use command prompt only. Okay, Qayyum?
yeah, okay, thank you, sir.
I go back to a learning environment. Okay. Tirupati, can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Please look at this code.
Sure.
Very, very important point. Please focus here. Very simple. Don't worry. I repeat the same question again to you. Can you explain A equal to 10? What happens?
In A value, it's to 10.
In a variable,
Yeah, in variable.
A is the variable which will store 10, right?
Yes.
So when I'm declaring the variable, did I mention what is the data type of the variable?
Int.
No,
Int is-
did I mention int here?
No,
No.
we didn't mention.
So one of the most important feature of Python, which we have learned it in our previous session, do you remember there is something called features of Python? Python is dynamically typed. Participants, Python is dynamically typed. What do you mean by dynamically typed? Dynamically typed meaning is you have to create variable. You don't need to mention the data type of the variable. The data type of the variable is dependent on the value what you're storing. What value you are storing? You are storing 10. 10 is an integer. So variable A becomes integer variable. Variable A becomes integer variable. I want to verify what is the data type of A. Participants try to understand. I want to verify what is the data type of A. So we have a function called type. We have a function called type, which will return the data type of the variable. Participants, look at this output. It is the what is the data type of the variable? Tirupati?
Yeah, it's
Integer.
integer.
Integer, int, it is an integer. Variable is what type? It is an integer type because it is storing integer. B equal to 20.5. This is a decimal value. I am storing a decimal value in variable B. So what is the data type of B? Decimal values are called floating values. Decimal values are called floating data type or floating values. Now, what is the data type of B? B, is it an integer? No, it is not an integer. It is a float value. How to confirm whether B is a float or not? What is the data type of B? So we have a type function where it is showing as B is float data type. Participants, integer A is an integer data type. B is a float data type. Variable C equal to, I am storing my name, Sunil. Variable C equal to, I am storing a name, Sunil. Now I want to write what is the data type of, C. The C is of what data type? String data type. Variable A is integer data type, variable B is float data type, variable C is
String data type.
string data type. Okay, so the data type of the variable is dependent on the value what you're storing. If you're storing integer value, variable A becomes integer data type. If you store float value, variable B becomes float data type. When you're storing string value, variable C becomes a string data type. Okay, right? D equal to I'm writing a value true. And now I want to know what is the data type of D. The data type of D is Boolean data type. These are data types: integer, float, string, bool. These are data types of Python. Very important feature of Python is when you're creating a variable, you don't need to mention variable A is integer or not. The variable data type is dependent on Tirupati. The data type of the variable is dependent on
Value.
value.
Value,
If
yeah.
you store integer value, A becomes integer data type. If you store float value, A becomes float data type. If you store string value, it becomes string data type. If you store Boolean values are nothing but two values, true or false. It becomes bool data type. Clear? Dynamically typed. Am I clear, Tirupati?
Yes, yes, I'm clear.
Perfect. One more important point. Tirupati, look at this.
Yes, sir. Type here.
A equal to 10. A
Yeah.
variable A is of what data type? It is an integer data type.
Yeah.
Now what I'm doing, the variable name is same. I'm changing the value from 10 to 10.5. When I change the value, the data type is also dynamically getting changed. Now the A is
Float.
same variable. Okay. A equal to, I'm writing something like my name. Now what is the data type of A? Tell me.
String.
String. How to confirm whether it is string
Type.
or not? By using type.
Parentheses.
Type of A. str stands for string. So the data type of the variable dynamically changes. Participants, the data type of the variable in Python dynamically changes based on the value what you are storing. This feature is called as dynamically typed programming language. Python is a dynamically typed programming. So very, very important point. Clear? Clear about this? Perfect. What we have experienced is integer data type. We have experienced float data type. We have experienced string data type. We'll be experiencing many more data types in the coming classes. But I just want to provide a list of data types what we have in Python. We have integer data type. We have float data type. We have complex data type. We have bool data type. We have string data type. Bytes, byte array, range, list, tuple, set, frozen set, dictionary, none. These are different data types available in Python. We have experienced integer. We have experienced float. We have experienced a string. We also have experienced bool. Many other data types where we will be experiencing in the coming sessions. Perfect. Perfect. Any question? Participants?
Yeah, Sunil, if you try to print A, then it shows string value or integer value or float value.
Now?
Now I think string value. Last value is a string.
Print of A. What is the output? The output is Sunil. What is happening, Tirupati, here?
Yeah, it takes last.
First point, 10 is replaced with 10.5.
Okay.
Next, what happened? 10.5 is replaced with Sunil.
Sunil.
Old value will be replaced with the new value. Okay. So
Okay.
finally, what is the value we have in the variable A? Sunil. Okay.
Yeah, got it.
Perfect. Super. Now, where are we standing in our today's agenda? I have explained you a new editor that is called Edit Plus. How to write comments in Python. How to write comments in Python. First, what is a comment? You have to understand. Tirupati, how many print lines we are having in this Python file?
3.
3 lines.
Yeah.
And the file name is sunil.py. We already know how to run the Python program.
Yeah, Python. File name .py.
As we have 3 print lines, hello, good morning, welcome, you're getting the same message. Okay.
Yes.
Now, how to write comments in Python? Let's say, for example, I don't want to run the second line. I don't want to run the second line. If you don't want to run specific line of code, happily you can write comment. Hash in Python is called as commenting. So line number 2 is commented. The advantage of edit plus is that commented lines will show in green color, whereas in Notepad it will not show in green color, isn't it? So everything is shown in black and white. Am I right, Tirupati? So that is the advantages of edit plus. Now which line is commented?
Second line.
So now the output is hello and welcome. Is the second line getting executed? Second line is not executed. So whenever you don't want some line of code not to be executed, happily you can comment it. When you remove the comments again, perfect. Again, the same 3 lines gets executed. So hash is used to write comments in Python. We have discussed about list of keywords. We also know how to declare variables. I want to discuss about this term called functions. A equal to 10. A is a variable. A is a variable. A is a variable. We are storing the value 10 in that particular variable. I want to know the data type of this variable. Whenever you want to know the data type, we already have used it. Whenever you want to know the data type, we have to write type of
A.
We have to write type of A. So it is showing you the data type as integer. The point what I want to explain here is what is type. Type is a function. Type is a function. Type is a function. What this function will do, it will return the data type of the variable, whatever you have mentioned. So participants, type is a function. Next, immediately you may have a question. Sunil, how you are telling that the type is a function. How to identify whether it is a function or not? Anything. Whenever you find open brackets and closing brackets. Participants, whenever you find open brackets and closing brackets, that means that is a function. Type is a function. What is the purpose? Every function is having a specific purpose. The type function will return the data type of the variable. Similarly, we have one more function called ID function. We have one more function called ID function. So I'll be using ID function and I'm mentioning the variable A. So what does the ID function returns? It returns the address of the variable. When you create a variable, the variable gets created in the memory. The variable gets created in the memory is nothing but RAM. Participants, variable gets created and that variable will have a value 10. When you create a variable, it will consume some memory. Every memory will have an address. If you want to know the address of this variable, we have to use ID function. ID is a function. You may have questions, Sunil, again. You may have a question, Sunil, how to know ID? How are you saying that ID is a function? Yes, because it is also having opening brackets and closing brackets. Similarly, we already have used print is also a function. What it is it prints the value stored in the variable. So anything which you come across when you're having opening brackets and closing brackets, that means it is a function. Okay, so how many functions we have introduced? I have introduced you 3 functions. Type function, which returns the data type of the variable. ID function, which returns the address of the variable. Print function, which will print the value which is stored. All these 3 are functions. Next point. Did you create these functions or is it predefined functions?
Predefined.
Participants, these functions, did we create it or is it predefined? These are predefined functions. Predefined functions, we'll be using it to accomplish our activity. Similarly, we can also create our own functions, not a problem. So I already have explained you, this is called as the decimal values. Decimal values are called as float data type. When you create a decimal value, when you store a decimal value, the variable A becomes float. We already have experienced it. We already have experience here. You can see when I'm storing 10.5, the variable is showing type, it is showing as float. So these decimal values are called float data type. Coming to Boolean values. Boolean values are having only two values, either true or false. Okay, so we already have seen it when you use, we have experienced it, A equal to true. Type of A. Now, what is the variable? What is the data type of A? It's not an integer. It is not a float. It is Boolean data type. Bool stands for Boolean. Okay. Okay. Very good. Now, if you write the print of A true. Perfect. Okay. So value true is stored. Few lines of code just to understand the behavior before moving on. Very good. Yes, Nikhil. Good morning. How are you doing? How is today's session?
Hey, hi, sir. Very good morning. Just a small doubt, sir. Whatever the value which is stored, the integer value, A is equals 10 and the ID, whatever the address which is storing in the memory, is it the same for a string and for the character and for Boolean also about the ID?
Are you changing the variable?
Yes, for
You're not
example,
changing-
yeah,
No.
let us assume A is equals to any string or any character.
I understand.
So, yeah, exactly. So if I type ID function of A, then what it will give out?
Your question is, will it change the address?
Yes,
or
yes, yes.
Will it get the same
Or it
address?
will be a same one. Yeah.
Okay. Then Python, there is a concept of mutability. Okay. When I explain about mutability, I'll explain more about details
Oh.
about how address is changed. But for your understanding, what do you think the address will same or address will change?
Yes,
What is your
same or
expectation?
not.
What is your expectation?
Mostly, it will be changed, I think, sir.
Mostly you think the variable address will change.
Yeah.
What you guessed is right.
Yeah,
Previously
yeah.
it was a different address. Now
Yes.
it is a different address. Why?
Yeah.
Participants, you may have question why the address is getting changed. In fact, the variable is same, right, Nikhil?
Correct.
Variable
Correct.
is same. When variable is same, the address
But
should
the
be
address
same.
of the variable is getting changed.
But here it is getting changed. Why it is getting changed? I'll discuss when we learn about the concept of mutability. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, sir.
Clear, Nikhil? How is today's session?
Yeah, it's very nice, sir.
Good. Thank you. Nikhil, can we have a couple of more discussion?
Yes, sure. Thanks. Yep, done.
Understand these lines of code. If I write C equal to A plus B, it makes some sense, Nikhil. Okay, so A plus B is nothing but 10 plus 20. So variable C becomes 30. Agree? But I'm not writing A plus B. I'm writing C equal to A greater than B. That means 10 greater than 20. The condition is false. So print of C will give you false. Okay. Whenever you write this kind of operators like greater than or less than or equal to, it will evaluate that particular expression and returns true or false. Okay, Nikhil?
Yes.
Next, one more important observation just to play with this Python. Plus is an arithmetic operation, agree? Generally, arithmetic operation, we do it with numbers. Am I right, Nikhil? 10 plus 20 or something like that. But for the first time, I'm using arithmetic operation. First time I'm using arithmetic operation, not with respect to integer values. I'm using arithmetic operation with respect to Boolean values. Agree?
Agree. Yeah.
The result is true. The result is 2. What does that mean? The Boolean value true is represented with the
1.
integer 1. And false is represented with, obviously when 2 is 1, false is 0. Okay, 1 minus 0 is 1. What is the result? 0 minus 1, it is minus 1. Am I right, Nikhil? Are you
Yes,
understanding
sir.
my lines of code? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So the point what I want to show you is false minus false. 0 minus 0 is again the 0. Okay. Similarly, 1 into 0. 1 into 0 is 0. So the point what I want to tell you is in Python, true is considered as what value? Integer value 1, and false is considered as integer value 0. This is the behavior of Python with respect to Boolean values true and false. Clear, Nikhil?
Yes, sir. I got it. So here, if the result is true, then it will echo dollar question mark. It will show as 1, right, sir? If the value is true.
You can see here what's happening here. True
Yes,
plus
yes.
true.
Correct. I got it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Nikhil.
Thank you, sir.
So participants, I hope I am very clear because we have started getting into practicals of Python. Are you comfortable learning Python? Are you comfortable in today's session? If yes, please type yes in the chat box. Am I clear in explaining you how to create a variable, how to print that particular variable? We have introduced you 3 functions. What are the 3 functions I have introduced? I have introduced you 3 functions: type function, ID function, and print function. How to identify? You may be 0, you may have no experience in any programming language, but all my examples will be perfectly clear for you. I hope you have understood how to identify a function. Anything which is having opening brackets and closing brackets is a function. Type is a function which returns the data type. ID is a function which returns the address. Print is a function, print the value. I have introduced you edit plus. Please send an email to support@logiclabstech.com. Participants, please send an email to this email address which I'm sending in the chat box, support@logiclabstech.com, asking for edit plus key. What you have to ask for? Asking for edit plus key, because I have shown you how to install edit plus, but it comes with 30 days trial version. If you activate, it will be there for lifetime. So send an email to support@logiclabstech.com asking for what key? What key you have to ask for? Edit plus key, so that our team will reply to you. Okay, so this is our plan for today's session. See you tomorrow. If you are happy with the second session, see you tomorrow for the third session. In third session, we will learn how to write more better programs. I'll be introducing you how to write conditions and much more interesting stuff for the tomorrow session, where you can join using the same meeting link. Yes, any more questions, please? Yes, Nikhil, I can see your hand raised again.
Sorry, sir. I have mistakenly raised.
Okay, okay. Thank you. I'm waiting for your third session. Please enjoy learning and do hands-on. Have a good time and see you tomorrow. Same time.